Hey guys, welcome to Bytesector. This isn't one of my more fun episodes, unfortunately. Last Thursday, I came down to the basement and I heard possibly the most terrifying sound a person can hear coming from the server rack. Dead silence. Not a peep, not a buzz, not a whir, no drone of fans, nothing. It was off. Had a small heart attack. Wondered what went wrong, Got a UPS here, which stands for uninterruptible power supply, and yet everything's off. So the long story short is that while I was finishing my basement, I left my server rack running, and ultimately it sucked in a lot of dust into certain components, one of them being the UPS. Now, it didn't coat the internal components as much as you might think, but for some reason the dust had a very catastrophic effect on the single 80mm fan sitting up front. I've been living with the noise it causes. It sounds like a scratching noise 24/7. And my guess is what happened is the fan finally died and the unit went into an overheat protection mode and shut itself down. Best guess, since I don't have diagnostics coming off of it. I will be, however, configuring the onboard network card from now on and doing some polling and monitoring to make sure that I know what's going on moving forward. I plugged it in. It sounded horrible still, but the fan came back on when I plugged it back in. So I guess the fan is on its way out. That's what I've concluded. So today we're gonna hopefully quickly replace the fan in here. I had to go out and buy one because while computers primarily use 12-volt fans, this is using a 24-volt fan. So that just made things difficult. I probably could have gotten away with hooking up, I don't know, two 12s or maybe even a single 12-volt fan, but I figured I'd stick by the book because this is my UPS. I don't want my server rack dying on me again. Let's dive in. So, today I got my my new fan. Came with its own fan grill. There's a fan in here. Possibly, I'm not even sure why. Looks like an extension cable. We'll zoom in later. And some screws. So, let's tear this puppy apart again. I'm pretty sure there is no risk of electrical shock to me. It's been unplugged. We're going to disconnect the battery packs before we go in and play around. Disassembly of the unit is relatively easy. Create a small pile. So that leans down. In fact, we're just going to let that hang. Put the panel over here. Next, we got to take this top plate off because the fan doesn't come out by itself and the cord goes all the way to the back corner. So there are 8 screws and a bolt on the top to take out. Don't hate me. I don't have a socket set on me right now, so I'm just going to use a pair of pliers to loosen the bolt here. And yeah, that's right. As suspected, one more screw on the front. So if we take a look inside here, you can see that we've got 3 individual battery packs. Our fan, it's a piece of paper, we can take that off. So this might be difficult to see because there's not a lot of light in there, but you see here, right back, where is it? There. That plug right there is the fan connector, and that goes right up beside that, that magnet there, and then terminates in this fan. So it looks like we got to take this front bracket off to be able to disconnect those batteries. Okay, we have 3 more screws. Maybe we should call dropping things pulling a Linus from now on. Okay. So we've got that bracket out. It's critical to remember to disconnect these batteries before you ever work on a UPS. If you don't disconnect them, then you're just asking for trouble. I may one day have to replace those, but this battery pack does the job for me. So our leads are disconnected. The power plug at the back is disconnected. We're not plugged into anything. Let's get this fan loosened at the front here. So we'll stick those off to the side here. We've got our fan. Looks pretty dusty. Okay. Just gonna crack open the new fan here. See how long the cord is. Yeah, it's at 8 inches. I figured worst case scenario, I can splice the leads into the old leads. Putting the fan there, it will very definitely not reach. As I mentioned earlier, came with a small little extension piece here. It's only, what, 3 inches long, but this is probably going to be more than enough to bridge that gap. It's a bit hard to see there, but you'll notice that right there, there's some glue holding it in. We're gonna try and chip that away quickly before pulling that plug. We're gonna continue prying this the glue off. Hopefully just gonna pull this wire up. You guys missed a spectacular almost electrocution. I was trying to pry that glue off there. Thankfully I wasn't touching the screwdriver because sparks were a-flying. But we got this off. That's the important thing. You know, I gotta say, it's amazing what the right tools will do for you. I am really not using the right tools for this job. Here comes the fun part. I have to get this fan connector, this little white thing, down in there where I know there could be electricity. And that last part scares the crap out of me. At this point, the new fan is installed. We're going to go ahead and screw it in and reassemble the UPS, plug it in, and hopefully everything works just as we expect. See you on the other side. And I've opted for a quieter fan with lower airflow, but the irony being, I'm not in a data center where it's cooled to 16 or 18 degrees Celsius. So let's just hit power there. Power it on. We've got airflow there. I feel a breeze at the back. I'm confident it's not going to be wedged in between two servers generating heat, so there's buffer space top and bottom in the rack, which is great. Looks good. Much quieter, infinitely quieter. I can't even begin to tell you how horrible that old fan was. So we're going to power this off, unplug it, re-rack it. So guys, there you have it. We replaced the fan in the UPS. We're going to get this puppy racked up. Don't try this at home unless you're absolutely certain of what you're doing. You certainly run a high risk of electrocuting yourself. I'm happy. It's a successful project. You guys have a great night, and we'll talk to you later. Ciao.